Everyone, welcome to the show. So, it was a really bad day for Trump and a really great day for the rest of us for the rule of law. So, as you guys are all aware, the Justice Department asked the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals to end this whole special master sham review that Trump suck up Judge Eileen Cannon had ordered. In a late afternoon ruling today, the appeals court wrote, quote, "This appeal requires us to consider whether the district court had jurisdiction to block the United States from using lawfully seized records in a criminal investigation. The answer is no." The appeals panel also ruled that Judge Cannon did not have jurisdiction to even hear Trump's case or to issue her ruling preventing the DOJ from using those seized documents in their investigation. They noted that there should not be a separate rule for everyday Americans versus a former president. And so the government will now be allowed to view and use all of the documents that were seized. And Trump's attorney, James Trusty, got a little bit of a tongue lashing at the hearing. One of the judges called him out for referring to the executed search warrant as a raid. And then another got him to admit that Trump couldn't prove that the FBI did anything unlawful in their seizure of the documents. So the judge said, quote, "If you can't establish that, then what are we doing here?" And keep in mind, two of these three judges were appointed by Trump. And then the third is a Bush appointee. So you would be hard pressed to find a more conservative appeals panel in this country. The next piece of bad news for Trump is that the House and Ways Committee has officially obtained 6 years of Trump's tax returns. This is personal and corporate federal tax returns. So there's no word yet as to when or if they're going to be releasing any details, but they've got it. In January 6th committee news, former Secret Service official and Trump deputy chief of staff, Tony Ornato, was questioned by the January 6th Select Committee. This is the second time they're questioning him. Ornato was, of course, asked about allegations made by White House staffer Cassidy Hutchinson. She was brave enough to testify publicly, which he was not. And as you guys may recall, she said that Ornato and another Secret Service agent told her after the fact about Trump's tantrum in his limo or whatever vehicle he was in on January 6th. This was when they refused to take him to the Capitol. So Ornato told the committee he has no recollection of the conversation. And that's a very different story than what was leaked to the press after Hutchinson's testimony. Because according to news reports at that time, Ornato denied that a conversation ever took place. Now, all of a sudden, when he's under oath and he's questioned directly about it, now he can't remember. That doesn't seem like a conversation or a situation you would easily forget. But, Ornato can't just come out and say that the conversation never took place to the committee, because what if there's another witness who's already testified? What if somebody else has confirmed Hutchinson's story? Then he's caught in a lie. But if he just says, "Oh, I can't remember," no one can prove that he can't remember. But I think we can all tell which one of these two people has courage and which one tells the truth and which one is a Trump bootlicker. So speaking of Trump bootlickers, in addition to Ornato, Trump advisor Stephen Miller also testified. His testimony, though, was given before the Justice Department's grand jury investigating all of these same matters. And I know what you guys are thinking, because I had the same thought and the same question. Does the grand jury meet at night? I mean, how did they get him to come down from the roof of his cave, and especially during the day while the sun is still out? Anyway, in another case, also surrounding the events of January 6th, U.S. District Judge Emmett Sullivan ruled against Trump, also saying that he, quote, "is not absolutely immune from damages liability." This particular lawsuit was brought by Black voters, the NAACP, and a civil rights organization against Trump and the Republican National Committee. And Trump was fighting it, trying to claim that he holds absolute immunity from prosecution because he was performing his official duties. But this is while he was trying to disenfranchise Black voters with his alleged coup plot. So that's what this surrounds. So Judge Sullivan stated that in his opinion that, quote, former President Trump does not even attempt to explain how intimidating and coercing election officials or inciting intimidation and threats against election officials could possibly constitute executive action in defense of the Constitution, particularly given that his actions targeted only officials in areas where he lost. Nor does he offer any reason to believe his efforts to expose election fraud were part of any executive effort. And if you guys aren't watching, if you're just listening to this, election fraud was in quotes. I did air quotes, by the way. In regard to Trump's failed RICO lawsuit against Hillary Clinton and others, Trump's legal team asked the judge to give them more time to appeal the decision to award sanctions to one of their named defendants. It's a man named Charles Dolan. I had shared with you guys previously, Dolan proved that he had nothing to do with Clinton's campaign or the infamous Steele dossier that was the impetus for the Russia investigation. So the judge ordered that Trump had to pay Dolan's legal fees of more than $66,000. As of today, the judge has agreed to a stay in regard to those sanctions, so we'll have to see how Trump's appeal goes. As for the Georgia coup inquiry, Trump's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, has been fighting tooth and nail to try to get out of testifying before that grand jury. He lost. He's SOL because the South Carolina Supreme Court ruled unanimously, by the way, that Meadows' arguments are, quote, manifestly without merit. So they determined that a lower court's ruling will stand. He is required to provide testimony before the Georgia grand jury. As for the first lawsuit filed by E. Jean Carroll, that's the columnist who says that Trump raped her, Trump has been ordered to testify in that trial, which is scheduled now for April 10th of next year. Carroll is one of the women who has accused him of raping her back in the 90s. This trial in particular, though, covers the defamation claim against him for denying the allegations and insulting her. As I mentioned in the last update, she's now filed a separate lawsuit suing him for the rape itself under New York's new Adult Survivors Act. So I will definitely keep you guys posted. I'll let you all know when I hear more about all of these cases. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, subscribe. Please donate if you possibly can. It is greatly appreciated. It helps to keep the show going. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.